Hey, everyone, stop scrolling for just a second. I need you to ask yourself a question right now. Are you truly alone in your own home? We bought convenience. We automated everything. We poured thousands into turning our houses into smart sanctuaries, trusting technology to make our lives easier. But what if the ultimate smart device is actually the ultimate spy? What if all that effortless living came with an invisible, devastating price tag? Constant, automated surveillance. It's a terrifying thought, and the reality is far more insidious than a simple camera. I'm talking about your own life, your secrets, your arguments, your most mundane moments, being relentlessly logged, categorized, and sold. I recently started looking at my devices not as helpful tools, but as tiny, obedient witnesses capable of recording, processing, and transmitting every detail of my domestic life. The discovery flipped my world upside down. I realized I didn't trade my privacy for convenience. I surrendered it, unconditionally and unknowingly. Now, the mission is urgent, to find the hidden eyes and ears and understand the digital contracts we unknowingly signed. Think about the sheer audacity of it. The four walls you thought defined your private space are now completely porous, thanks to Wi-Fi signals and microscopic data packets flowing out constantly. This is an issue of digital self-defense against the monetization of your private existence. Every time you clicked agree to those 1,000-page terms of service, yes, we all did it. You essentially gave a massive, faceless corporation permanent, remote access to the interior of your life, identifying exactly where the recordings are happening, how that data is used to build a terrifyingly accurate profile of you, and why they prioritize collection over your personal autonomy. For this video, we're going on a monumental mission together. We're ripping off the marketing veneer, ignoring the glossy ads, and exposing 5 places you're being watched and don't even know it. We need to understand not just what data is leaving your house, but how these devices are secretly cloning your identity, building a frighteningly accurate digital version of your personality, habits, and spending capacity. This isn't theoretical. This is about real-world security flaws and shocking things I found logged in my own account settings. Every piece of information we uncover is a step toward reclaiming control. We're starting with the 3 most intimate and potentially dangerous observers, the devices that are literally listening to your voice, watching your family, and recording your leisure time. Prepare yourself, because this information is going to fundamentally change your relationship with everything plugged into your wall. The cozy illusion of privacy ends now. Let's start the investigation. Look at it. That innocent-looking cylinder on your counter. That smart speaker, the one you chat with all day, is your first and most persistent electronic spy. We all assume the wake word is a shield, right? That firewall is supposed to be impenetrable, keeping the device acoustically deaf until you specifically call its name. We let our guard down completely because we trust that plastic speaker to obey a simple spoken command, a verbal security protocol. But what if that shield is a lie designed to soothe your conscience? What if it's always listening, always processing, just waiting for a mistake, a cough, or a background noise that sounds suspiciously like its command? The device's functionality depends on continuous passive processing, and that is the critical vulnerability. The trust evaporated for me after a totally private conversation about a very niche product, something unique that I'd never typed into a search bar. 10 minutes later, I saw a full-screen ad for that exact product. It was too fast, too targeted, too perfect. My initial panic was replaced by rage. I had to know, was this thing actively and secretly transmitting fragments of my private, ambient conversations? The only way to find out was to turn the tables and spy on the spy, because the sheer, immediate accuracy felt like a profound, personal, and technologically impossible violation. It made the air in my own home feel heavy with suspicion. So, I logged into the speaker's privacy portal, and you need to do this immediately. The biggest shock was the massive file repository labeled Failed Interactions. These are moments where the mic picked up audio that sounded like the wake word. A muffled burst of sound, followed by my distinct voice saying something fragmented and clearly private. A raw piece of my life, recorded, uploaded, and stored on a massive server, all because the AI mistook a cough, a laugh, or a background noise for its name. This is the evidence. Audio is constantly being captured and processed before the wake word is confirmed. And those fragments, those mistakes, are considered valuable enough to be digitized, cataloged, and saved in the cloud indefinitely. This proves the critical loophole. Those accidental fragments of your private life aren't discarded. They are digitized, analyzed, and saved to refine the AI model, and, more importantly, to build a unique psychological and linguistic profile of you. The smart speaker isn't just taking commands. It's building an exhaustive audio profile of your family's dynamic, your stress tone, your casual rhythm, and the precise moment you mention a purchase idea. This is not service, it's automated digital espionage, where your most intimate utterances are turned into marketable metadata for profit. You feel fundamentally exposed by this plastic eavesdropper you welcomed into your home, realizing you are the unintentional producer of corporate data. You can see the intentional flaw in the system's design. This is about relentless, automated data extraction from your most intimate space, transforming your home into a quiet data mine. Every time you speak, you're contributing to a massive, invisible database about you, your moods, and your buying intentions, regardless of whether you're addressing the device. Go check your failed interactions log right now. Tell me in the comments what disturbing secrets you find. I guarantee you'll want to cover that, Mike. The silence in your home is not guaranteed. It must be manually enforced. Next, let's talk about the room where a child sleeps. The baby monitor is supposed to be the fortress, the one device you trust completely with the safety of your home's most vulnerable resident. We look at that lens and feel justified peace. But after discovering the speaker's treachery, I started seeing the monitor's camera not as a benign protector, but as a potential wide-open, unauthorized live feed into the most intimate room in the house. If the smart speaker records your words, the monitor streams your most vulnerable moments and the entire environment of the nursery, 24/7. I was watching the feed one night when the status light on the camera base began flickering with a weird, constant. I checked the network settings and confirmed the terrifying truth. The camera was constantly trying to phone home, connecting not just to my Wi-Fi, but to distant external network servers. It wasn't just talking to me. It was constantly communicating with the outside world, creating a permanent, persistent digital backdoor into the room, whether I was viewing the feed or not. This confirmed the vulnerability was active and continuous. This sent me into a blind panic. I started researching my specific monitor model online, diving into the darkest corners of the internet. And guys, this is where the fear got visceral. I found documented security exploits detailing simple ways that strangers could take over these cameras, often exploiting simple, unpatched software flaws. Full, undetectable administrative control, activating the mic, rotating the lens, and streaming the raw video feed to anyone on the internet without any local sign. The security was pitifully weak, often a default password that's easy to guess, turning the device into an open-source camera for anyone who knows where to look. The sheer terror of knowing I had inadvertently broadcast a live feed from the nursery to a potentially massive, unseen audience was devastating. The monitor was meant to be the first line of defense, but through simple ignorance and reliance on factory settings, I had created a massive, unsecured digital door on that room. That sense of violated responsibility, that I failed to protect the most vulnerable person in the house, gnawed at me. The betrayal is not just digital. It's a deep, personal scar left by technological negligence, compounded by the fact that the device gave no warning that it was compromised. The fact that a complete stranger could have been silently watching was a deep, violating punch to the gut. The lens is no longer a source of peace. It's a constant, electronic eye that must be treated as a potential intrusion point, a silent sentinel pointed inward. This vulnerability isn't theoretical. It exists in millions of homes right now, lurking on a shelf, waiting for someone to find its digital address. The lesson here is brutal. With internet-connected cameras, trust must be earned daily, not assumed on purchase. All right, let's move to the couch, your zone of comfort. Your massive, high-definition smart TV is the centerpiece of your relaxation. You spend countless hours here, letting your guard down, escaping the world. But I want you to look at that huge screen and realize it's not just a display. It's the biggest, most aggressive data sponge you own, drinking up your attention data and quietly observing your behavior patterns every second it's on, even when it's supposedly off. The doubt started with unnerving specificity. A hyper-specific ad for a movie I'd only mentioned to someone in the living room, or sudden, perfect but unsearched for content recommendation. I realized my smart TV was running complex processes in the background, beyond the built-in mics for voice search, which have the same vulnerabilities as the smart speaker. Most modern smart TVs use sophisticated automatic content recognition, ACR, software. This system is a digital snitch running constantly, identifying every single pixel and logging everything you watch: cable, streaming box, gaming console. Your entire viewing profile is being collected in real time. I plunged into the TV's dense data policies. It wasn't just logging what I watched. It was meticulously logging how I watched. Think about the granular detail. Every time you pause, every time you rewind to rewatch a scene, every time you turn the volume up or down. That's a behavioral data point. It's analyzing your attention span, your engagement level with specific types of violence, comedy, or drama, and the exact content that hooks you. This data is the most valuable commodity in advertising, helping companies perfect content to be maximally addictive, ensuring you remain glued to the screen for their advertising benefit. Your attention is currency, meticulously tracked and optimized. The real shock was realizing my viewing choices weren't my own. Those recommendations weren't a helpful guide. They were algorithms carefully calculated to exploit my psychological profile and maximize my screen time. My free choice of entertainment had been cleverly manipulated and engineered, turning my passive relaxation into a predictable, monetized data stream. You realize you are not the user of the television. You are the television's product. The TV is actively conditioning your behavior, guiding you down a content funnel designed for maximum data extraction, making you a predictable consumer. The screen is massive, bright, and engaging, but it hides a tiny, invisible reality. It's constantly broadcasting your attention habits and preferences back to the outside world, creating a detailed psychological dossier on your interests. The TV is no longer a passive display. It's a sophisticated, relentless data broker that knows exactly what holds your interest, what time you relax, and how you react emotionally to different media. This is a level of deeply personal information that compromises the very foundation of your domestic privacy, turning your leisure time into a profitable, tracked activity. Now we move to your most personal workstation, your laptop. For most of us, this is where our professional and personal lives bleed together. We handle finances, take sensitive video calls, and often just sit and stare into the middle distance while deep in thought. We assume the camera is off, right? We assume that tiny, discrete green light on the webcam bezel is the final, honest, and unhackable indicator of our privacy. You trust that light to tell you when the lens is safe, but what if that light is a comforting lie? My moment came after finishing a particularly sensitive video call. I slammed the laptop shut, but noticed that tiny green light lingered for a noticeable, anxious second after the call software had completely closed. It shouldn't have. That brief flicker was enough to send my heart racing. Was the camera's driver software just slow to shut down? Or was something else keeping the video stream alive for just a moment longer? The chilling truth I discovered is that many types of malware, remote access Trojans, and sophisticated surveillance programs are specifically designed to bypass the operating system's control of the physical indicator light. Think about that for a second. That green light, which gives you a false and dangerous sense of security, can be completely circumvented. The camera can be activated silently, without any external warning, simply because it's a direct digital pathway into your life. The device you rely on for work is also the easiest to compromise, providing a clear, high-definition view of your face and your surroundings. This vulnerability isn't theoretical. It's a documented feature exploited daily by hackers looking for everything from corporate secrets to simple voyeurism. Imagine the feeling of cold dread when you truly visualize this. An unseen person somewhere in the world sitting there watching you. They see you moving around your office, or when you quickly change clothes after a workout, or even just sitting alone, quietly reflecting on a stressful day. These are your most unguarded, mundane, and private moments. The laptop camera, an object you ignore 99% of the time, transforms instantly into a terrifying, voyeuristic, unblinking lens focused directly on you and your immediate environment. The laptop screen is a comfort, a critical tool, but its camera is a potential digital spy hole into your personal sanctuary. This realization replaces comfort with a quiet, constant paranoia. You start performing little ritualistic checks, covering the lens with a piece of tape, a physical act of resistance against a digital threat. You find yourself habitually checking that small lens, wondering if the person on the other end of the screen is who they claim to be, or just a digital shadow observing your entire environment. Our final spot is perhaps the most unexpected and deceptive: the robot vacuum. It's the ultimate symbol of effortless home life. You hit a button, and it quietly buzzes around, diligently cleaning your floor. It's just a glorified mop, right? It couldn't possibly be watching you or collecting data that matters. This is where the curiosity hits its most shocking peak, because the biggest data collector might be sweeping up dust bunnies right now. The moment of truth comes when you realize the vacuum isn't just a brush and a motor. It's a sophisticated mobile data platform equipped with high-tech sensors, LiDAR, light detection and ranging, cameras, and advanced infrared sensors to navigate. Its primary job isn't cleaning. Its primary job is mapping. Every time it runs, it's building a perfect, spatial, three-dimensional blueprint of your entire home, complete with furniture placement, doorways, and room dimensions. It's a digital architect that never asked for permission. This map is far more valuable than temporary video footage. It's the architectural treasure map of your life. Think about the metadata embedded in that floor plan. It tells advertisers how big your living room is and what kind of income you must have to afford that space. And it tells a malicious actor exactly where the valuables are, where the home's choke points are, and the most efficient way to navigate the floor plan. It turns your physical wealth and the structural layout of your home into a quantifiable, highly desirable data point. You might think the map is safely stored locally, but every time that little vacuum returns to its dock, it quietly connects and uploads that incredibly intimate spatial data to a cloud server. Your house's floor plan, its volume, its empty spaces, all of it becomes digitized, stored alongside the cleaning history, waiting to be analyzed, categorized, and sold. The map of your home, down to the millimeter, is sitting on a third-party server, subject to breaches and data policies you can't control. The device you bought to clean your floor has inadvertently digitized the entire physical shell of your privacy. That little whirring machine isn't just sucking up dust. It's creating a highly detailed, permanent data model of your personal sanctuary, turning your home into a quantifiable digital commodity. The ultimate irony is that you paid a premium for the device that secretly mapped your life. So, there you have it. 5 places you're being watched, not by some shadowy government agency, but by the convenience you paid for. The smart speaker, the baby monitor, the TV, the laptop, and the robot vacuum. The feeling you have right now, that low hum of conscious awareness, that is the new price of living in a smart home. Are you still comfortable knowing your house is full of obedient witnesses? The reality is that we can't unplug everything. The convenience is too addictive. But we can stop being passive users. The price of convenience is eternal vigilance. Now that you know exactly where the microphones are hidden, where the lenses are pointing, and where the data is flowing, what are you going to do to draw the curtains? Let me know in the comments below which of these 5 places shocked you the most. If this video gave you that unsettling, necessary feeling of curiosity, hit the like button, subscribe for more digital deep dives, and share this with a friend who needs to check their device logs right now. See you next time. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell icon for the daily updates. Please do like, subscribe, and share with your friends.